Good afternoon, Kellin Hanas. It's Nick
Hi,
Monroe. Hi, on behalf of Youth Trumpet Scholars, I'd like to welcome you. It's going to be a pleasure to speak with you. How are
thank
you
you
today?
for having. I'm good. I'm excited to do this.
Thank you. If I might, I'd like to tell our students a little bit of your bio. Um, Helen Hanas is a member of the DIVA Jazz Orchestra. She's been a member of that orchestra since 2022, and she's performed and toured with them. She is a graduate of the Manhattan School of Music, where she studied with Scott Wendholt and Ingrid Jensen. She is an award winner, many, many awards, including winning the prestigious Carmine Caruso International Trumpet Guild.
It was not Carmine Caruso,
Oh, it was
but
Ryan Anthony. It was
Ryan
Ryan
Anthony. Yeah,
Anthony.
yeah.
Okay, right. Okay. And she's also been a member of the Carnegie Hall New York Jazz Ensemble and been a member of the Grammy Jazz Camp a number of years ago. So, welcome. I'd like to start our little discussion. Um, what can you describe yourself as a young middle school or maybe early high school young trumpeter? What was Kellen like as a trumpeter at that time?
Yeah. Well, I started playing trumpet when I was 7 years old, and um, I mean, for me personally, I was classically trained for 7 or 8 years, and back then it just, I was kind of too young to appreciate classical music, so it was something that I did when I was younger that I was good at, and like that was kind of it. And then when I turned 14, like 13, 14, I started listening to jazz for the first time, and that's when I had like that light bulb moment that I didn't want to be doing anything else other than this for the rest of my life. And so once I got to high school, like trumpet kind of became my entire life. I just was dedicating, probably in high school, I was probably practicing 7 or 8 hours a day, um, just trying to get better and trying to learn how to play jazz and improvise. And, um, yeah, it kind of took over my life and became like a little obsession. But I absolutely like it is part of my identity. It's part of who I am. I can't remember my life without the trumpet.
So you were kind of all consuming. The trumpet was all consuming. Um, Interesting. Did you miss out on anything by that devotion to the amount of time, do you think?
No, I mean, a lot of my peers that weren't in band or orchestra or whatever, they were out, at the parties and doing whatever young people do.
Sure, sure,
um,
sure.
and I don't feel like I missed out on
Okay.
anything. I had great friends, and I still had a social life, and I even made like more friends because of, being a musician.
Um, Tell me a little bit about how listening to jazz in somewhat of an analytical way was helpful for you in those days.
Yeah, I mean, when people ask me, like how did you start improvising and how did you, get the sound that you have and stuff like that, my like top two things I always say to people are you need to be listening and you need to be transcribing. And the way that I listen when I'm not in I think just even listening to something and getting it in your ear, like listening to just the sound is automatically going to make you sound better. There's plenty of times where I've had to play a tune or a certain style of music and literally just sitting down and putting on, a record of, something in that realm automatically informs me without me even having to think about it. Um, I never really sit down and listen to music and go, what's he doing with this line, oh he played the sharp nine. I don't really do that stuff. um I just like to sit and listen and absorb, and enjoy. um but yeah, I mean listening is like the top thing that has helped me.
Did the improvisational aspect of jazz, do you think that was kind of a natural thing, or that you had some degree of natural inclination to it, and then the listening and the practicing enhanced that?
Um, I think that I've always had like a good ear. You know, I can carry a tune, you know, I'm not tone deaf. However, the improvisational aspects of things, I mean, that was something that I really had to work at and I still have to work at. That is just such a, it's literally like learning how to speak a new language, right? Um, and so I was just thinking today, I was practicing right here just a couple hours ago, just going through like the blues and all 12 keys. And I was thinking to myself, there's no way I would be able to do anything remotely close to this, even, you know, a couple years ago. Um, it just takes so much work and effort. Um, yeah, so it really is like a completely new
If
language.
if this is kind of a question from left field, and the reason I ask it is that in the audition tapes, some of our youth trumpet scholar students indicated that they might want to be, in terms of a profession, something other than a professional musician.
Mhm.
Okay. And of course, many of them did indicate they have an interest in music as a career. But if you weren't uh, uh, inclined to become a professional musician, what do you think you might have become? What kind
Well,
of
you know,
position?
this is actually something that something about myself is that I have many, many, many interests. And while I chose to pursue the trumpet, I'm actually kind of on the path right now to pursuing a whole bunch of other things that I'm interested in as well, and trying to find ways to combine all of my loves into, you know, one career or image. Um, I probably would have gone to med school or something. I'm really, really interested in medicine and health. I also currently am pursuing comedy. I love acting and theater. Like, there's a whole bunch of things. And when I was younger, I really thought there's this one path that I have to follow. And if I stray away from that path, you know, it won't work. Um, and what I've found so far is I can do whatever I want, you know? Um, and yeah, like I think it's actually really important to have different interests, even if music isn't your only thing. Music can just be one of your things, and you can always pursue music, even if you don't go into it as a profession. Music will always be there. You can always have a band on the side. You can always keep practicing your instrument, you know?
Over your early career, and perhaps even in high school and college, um, what do you think were some of the most useful pieces of advice that you received from your teachers?
Mm. I mean, really just the encouragement from them, um, to just pursue who I was. My high school band director, um, he was incredibly supportive in every single thing that I was interested in. And he always was letting me know that he, you know, thought that I was capable of doing whatever I wanted. And I think that kind of encouragement, um, just really just helps. You need a support system, you know? Also, something that this is unrelated to that last thing, but um, Ingrid was really, really, really big on taking care of your body. And I just did not know how important that was. I mean, you know, as human beings, we're not made um, to put a metal tube to our face. You know, it's very unnatural what we're doing. And because of that, we're using muscles that aren't supposed to be used in that way, and we're tensing different parts of our bodies. And then when you do that for a decade, or, you know, 5 decades or 6 decades, however long you play, eventually your body's going to get messed up and you won't be able to play anymore, or you're going to injure yourself in some way. And so that was something that I really had no clue about when I started studying with Ingrid. And she has given me so many exercises and different ways of thinking about playing. And it's like, I studied with her for 4 years, so it's going to probably be like a lifelong thing to unlearn, the way that I've been playing for so long. But that stuff's really important, and that has absolutely changed how I play.
You also do comedy work as a comedian. How did you get into that? And not only how did you get into it, but how do you relate, if at all, the jazz improv with the comedy stuff you do?
Yeah, so I mean, comedy's a newer thing. In terms of just like getting into that world, it's new for me. I'm about to take some classes at Second City in New York, which is like a great, school for that kind of stuff. But yeah, I did theater since I was 5 years old. I did, so many musicals and plays, and I just have always loved talking to people on stage. Like honestly, I would say that that's like I love it just as much as music. And so when I was in high school, I was on the speech team, and that was really, I kind of dedicated 50% of my time to music and 50% of my time to that. And I was really like competitive with it, and got to the state level for speech. And I thought that I had to give that up once I graduated high school, and then I realized I don't have to do that at all if I don't want to. So yeah, I just started kind of trying to incorporate some form of like stand-up or storytelling in my shows. I think that jazz improvisation is a form of storytelling, and I think it works perfectly to have multiple forms of storytelling in a show. I also find that when my band plays, one of the top compliments that we get from people is, I love the storytelling, the stories that you tell about the music and why you wrote it, and makes me feel more connected to you. And I mean, that's really my like number one goal in all of this, is to be connecting with people through music, and making them feel seen and heard, even if we don't know each other. I think that's what's so beautiful about it. But yeah, I mean, it's just another form of storytelling, so why not add more of that?
Do you have any last suggestions or advice to some of the young female trumpet students that are involved in Youth Trumpet Scholars?
Yeah, I mean, I have to say that I would not be here talking to you if I didn't have my girlfriends. They have gotten me through so much. And the music world, it's definitely, touring with Diva and hearing some of the stories and stuff, it's really, incredible to hear what these women have been through, and it's definitely getting better. But you need that support system of people that understand what it's like to be a young woman in this music. And so, find each other and support each other and stick together. My best friends, like 50% of them are young female trumpet players. So yeah, that's my advice to all of you. Just keep going and find each other.
That is so wonderful. Kellin Hanas, thank you so very much. I'm going to end the meeting and we'll say our goodbyes, okay?
Great. Thank you, Nick.
My pleasure. And on behalf of Youth Trumpet Scholars, thank you.